Okay, hello YouTube, Mucklick here, and today we have got a video that is, well, it's a video and a blog post that is discussing the upcoming spear being added to Guild Wars 2 for the Guardian, Ranger, and Necromancer professions. Two of my three favorites are in this batch, and one person that I hate. You can decide which one is which. Now, for those who don't know, just a super quick TLDR, the upcoming expansion, Janthier Wilds, is adding a new weapon, which is a spear that you can use on land, not to be confused with the underwater spear, which has been in the game for 10 years. The land spear is going to be added to all classes. All 9 professions are getting access to it, but of course, just like with any other weapon in the game, it will work differently for each person that holds it. Some people, it might be a javelin that you throw, others it might be melee, and it, just very different things. So, first off, there is a video, and we will watch the video, and then we will read through the rest of the blog post. And here is that video. All right, two-handed spears, new weapon proficiency. Guardian, Necro, Ranger. Just really quickly, no, he's not using a spear and a shield. That is the Aegis boon. That's just a buff that's on him that gives him a block. That is two-handed. I'm guessing that's the auto chain and it does a symbol on the third hit. Okay, he has a throw that makes it then rain down spears. Necromancer. She can throw it and teleport to it. And it looks like if that's the last hit of the auto chain, it does a ton of rapid hits, similar to Axe 2. There's a whirlwind type thing. That looks really good, honestly. Alright, Ranger. It's a ranged weapon. She just keeps throwing it, but she had a move where she leaped in. She has a stealth button. She can go invisible with it. So is it an auto attack throw or an ammo system throw? Or was it just like they replayed the same throw from multiple camera angles? Hopefully we'll find out in a minute. In case you missed the news, we've announced that our 5th expansion, Guild Wars 2 Janthier Wilds, arrives on August 20th, and with it comes a brand new way to fight with spears on land. As promised in yesterday's Spear Primer blog, we're back and ready to dive into the details of how the Guardian, Ranger, and Necromancer will utilize the terrestrial version of spears. Game designers from the GW2 Janthier Wilds combat feature team, Chun Hong Feng, Taylor Brooks, and Cal Cohen. I apologize if I mispronounced anything. I did my best. And here today to discuss the Guardian, Ranger, and Necromancer respectively, so without further ado, let's get into it. Guardian spears are quite illuminating. Unlike the Coden that settled in the Shiver Peaks, the Coden of Janthier have long separated from their reverence for Coda. Instead, they've turned to the nature they're surrounded by to guide their relationship with the world, the sun, and all the benefits life seizes from it included. Certain spear bearers look to the sun to channel inspiration in battle, aiding their allies and illuminating a path forward. Guardians have learned from these Codan and wield their spears in a similar manner, focusing on supporting allies and debilitating enemies. While some of these skills can be used to provide support at a safe distance, their true potential is realized on the front lines when the Guardian is fighting alongside their allies. By fulfilling specific conditions, certain spear skills will cause the following spear attack to be illuminated, which makes them stronger or grants them additional effects. While you can only empower one skill at any given time, these skills can in turn grant the illuminated status to your next skill, allowing the Guardian to chain multiple illuminated skills together with precise positioning. Let's look at how a few of these work. The second skill, Helio Rush, causes the Guardian to charge forward in the direction they're aiming, dealing damage to enemies and healing allies they pass through. Alright, it says aiming, so this sounds like a skill shot, not something that goes to your target. Striking an enemy during the rush causes the next spear attack to be illuminating. The illuminated version of Helio Rush increases the healing and additionally grants resolution. Thus, this skill is best used in the thick of the fray, wherein you're able to go through both allies and enemies at once. Guardian weapons aren't complete without a symbol of some sort, and the spear is no exception. The 5th skill, Symbol of Luminance, knocks enemies back as you cast it. The symbol pulses resistance to allies who don't have it already, and weakness to enemies. Symbol of Luminance is unique in that, unlike other spear skills, it does not have a way to grant the illuminated effect, but for good reason. While standing within the symbol, any spear attacks you perform are automatically illuminated regardless of whether you're currently in the correct state. With the illuminated version of the skill, this properly applies even if you leave the symbol and lasts for as long as the symbol does, including the additional duration granted by Writ of Persistence, an existing Guardian trait. Okay. Go stealth with Ranger Spears. Spear-wielding Rangers excel at hunting their prey. They whittle their quarry down at range, and then they finish them off with a surprise attack at melee range. Ranger's Spear features a new type of auto attack that some of the other spears will utilize as well. When at range, you throw a spear at your target. But when you move close to your foe, you'll transition into using a melee chain. Wow, okay, so some people guessed that on my last video, and they were right. This bimodal model will help you always keep up pressure. Rangers learn from the animals of Janthier to deftly wield their spear. Using Mongoose Frenzy, Mongooses Frenzy, yeah, those things are vicious. They'll slash the spear in front of them as if they were a wild animal using their claws. Falcon Stoop throws a spear with the velocity of a raptor. That is a weird sentence. Why isn't it called Raptor Stoop then? Panther's Prowl will kick up nearby brush, stealthing the ranger and their pet. And that's when the fun begins. Ranger's Spear features a new type of stealth attack. Unlike a thief, stealthing upgrades Ranger's Spears 2 through 5 into new versions that share a cooldown with their base skill. Mongoose Frenzy flips into Wolf's Onslaught. You swipe your spear as before, and then follow with a jab with the same force as a bite from a wolf's gnashing fangs. I'm just imagining them with like some like gorilla grip thing, and they've got a wolf biting on it in the studio, measuring like the PSI just to make sure to get the damage just right. Falcon's Stoop becomes Owl's Flight, because everyone knows that falcons upgrade into owls, launching an owl spirit that is wider and unblockable that flies through enemies. Weaving in and out of melee range, Rangers will use their spear to chip away at their prey before they go into stealth and finish the kill. Their unique stealth attacks will allow them to decide how they want to tactically approach any scenario. That sounds really cool, honestly. That sounds fun. Assuming the numbers are decent, like that is something that you could use in any game mode. Stealth will make it popular in PvP. The ranged and melee, the fact that it's ranged and melee would make it good for, any game mode as long as the damage numbers are fine. In PvE, it just matters, like, if you're a DPS ranger, it just matters, like, the total damage output. What is it? Is it decent? That's cool. I'm looking forward to that. All right. No one cares about necromancers. So yeah, that's the news today. If you've got any questions or no, forget read it. Get up close with the Necromancer Spear. Now let's take a look at some aspects of the Necromancer Spear. The spear is a melee power damage weapon that also brings some disruptive elements, a bit of mobility, and some strong burst potential through cooldown resets. Many of this, I'm sorry, is that a rebreather? Is she using rebreather on land? You can't use spear and rebreather on land. If that's a land mask, I don't know it. Many of the spear skills create soul shards. Oh no, World of Warcraft Warlock PTSD. Life-stealing objects that behave similarly to Thief's venoms, but they will only be consumed by strikes from the spear's second skill. This allows them to be consistently built up to a maximum of 6 to reach a singular moment of power, instead of being immediately consumed by the next strike. These shards deal increased damage against low health enemies and gain increased healing while your health is low, giving more opportunities for powerful execution sequences or the ability to sustain when nearing death yourself. As mentioned above, soul shards will be consumed by Perforate, skill 2 on the spear. Perforate is a multi-hit attack that strikes enemies 7 times, enough to consume all active soul shards. Perforate also deals increased damage against low health enemies, which combined with the low health bonus damage of soul shards makes it a potent skill for finishing the job. So going back to the video for a second, where was Necro? I think we saw Perforate. Just a second here. Nope, it was earlier. That. I think that is Perforate. Because we're seeing a lot of hits there. Yeah, that's probably it. That was GeForce Now. Have you all heard about GeForce Now? In order to get the full value out of Perforate, you'll need to generate some soul shards. So let's look at another skill that might come in handy. Skill 4 is Isolate, a singular, long-range skill on the spear that serves as a gap closer. This skill throws a spear at the enemy, inflicting chill and vulnerability, and on successfully striking a target, it flips into the follow-up skill, Distress. Activating the follow-up skill teleports the Necromancer to the target struck by the initial spear and generates soul shards. Just processing all of that. Okay. Additional shards are generated by the enemy. Does not have any nearby... additional shards are generated if the enemy does not have any nearby allies of their own. Okay, I was going to say, with a name like Isolate, there's got to be some kind of bonus if they're not near anyone. And there it is. So this is a skill great at creating opportunities to pick off lonely enemy targets. You know what would be funny? Is after years of Deadeyes tormenting Necromancers in a World v World, if this skill allows Necros to start chasing Deadeyes around. It won't, but that would be funny. Teleporting to an enemy will also fully recharge Perforate, so you'll always be ready to consume your newly generated soul shards. Isolate will also recharge itself when exiting Death Shroud, giving access to a lot of potentially powerful sequences. Skills 3 and 5 also generate soul shards, among other things, but we'll talk about those at a bit more of a later date. Okay, what is next? Speaking of later dates, we'll be showing off all the new spear skills during a Twitch live stream on June 21st at noon Pacific time, UTC-7. In addition, there will be a beta event from June 27th at 9 a.m. until June 30th at 10 p.m. so everyone can try out spears and give us feedback. Thanks for reading, and we'll be back next week with more information on 3 more professions and their spear skills. Next week, okay. So... we did these are the only 3 for this week. I was wondering if we were going to get another one tomorrow. That is, honestly, pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Obviously, I'm a Ranger main. The classes I play the second most are either Engineer or Necro. Both of these seem cool. This whole melee/ranged weapon transition thing, really like the sound of that. Looking forward to trying that in pretty much every single game mode. So that means... that this is the auto attack. It's just ranged autos. But then when they choose to, they can leap in with one of the other skills. And it also looks like it knocked that guy down. Unless the Hound has a knockdown. The Hound could have done the knockdown there. I'm not sure if it was the Ranger or the Hound. And then, hold on a sec. So stealth, and then if you look here, hold on. There's like a wolf after image, so that's probably the wolf's PSI bite that we discussed earlier. Yeah, it looks neat. And then, you know, the Necromancer, they said you build up soul shards, and the 2 would have more... Oh, I didn't even notice them. Look, the little floaty green things. There's your soul shards. I really hope they put it on the UI. I'm having flashbacks of elementalists trying to keep track of their elemental bullets. In a big fight, you're not going to be able to notice it, how many little floaty, glowy rocks you've got above your head. I hope they add something to the user interface to track these things. But yeah, so that means... and look, they're disappearing. So yep, that confirms it. That is Perforate. The thing that we guessed was Perforate is Perforate. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And I'm guessing, because it said each soul shard increases healing and damage. So I'm guessing Perforate's like a life-stealing attack, but we'll know for sure later on. It's pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool. Yeah, they said that it'd work like Venoms on Thieves. Yeah, so on Thieves, even if you got like 100 buffs on your bar, usually the Venoms are listed near the front. That would be a decent stopgap. Again, honestly though, it would be better if it was just like above your hit point bar or something, like an Astral Power icon, or the, you know, Soul Beast Merge icon or something like that. Just would hate for it to be something like Catalyst tiny little energy bar or something like that. Poor Choya. No, it got what it deserved. All right, this is awesome. That looks cool. I'm still looking forward to it. And yeah, I'll have links to both of these in the comment section down below if you want to see more or reread it. And let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you saw anything in the video that I missed. I welcome it, and I will fight you down below.